Hello Aquarius, this is your extended reading. I am laughing because this extended went on a path that I was not expecting, and actually something happened that I'm going to share you right at the end because I was questioning so much about this 10 of Cups because I couldn't see past it, right? It's almost like too good to be true scenario, right? All of your wishes coming true. And so I was a little bit reluctant about it, and something really unexpected happened. So I'm going to share what came through with this 10 of Cups at the end, but just so you know, it feels to me like you are going to step across this portal in a sense where, but before, it's almost like you're quickly making a review, a live review in a sense, right? It's almost like before stepping through, it's like you're it's like you're cleansing your mind from old beliefs. So you have to quickly make this review in order to leave them on the like on the side that you're now, right before crossing this portal. You see what I mean? Sometimes it's so hard to express into words what I'm seeing, but it feels like you're going through a quick cleansing process of these thoughts, right? Because yes, you have disentangled yourself with the Seven of Swords and the Nine of Swords from the first part, but I feel like here it's almost like you're being reminded of the road so far, right? Or the obstacles that took you to where you are right now, in front of this very intricate and very compelling portal, right? So let's start with the cards from your extended. So we begin with the Page of Wands, and this card is, well, every time it shows up, I always see this excitement for a new adventure, right? It's almost like this, it's the fresh beginning, right? It's the fresh adventure, the fresh path that is like so well suited with the day today, right? With opening up this new year. But it feels like it's still a seed. It feels like it's still brewing. It's something that it's in its initial phase still, right? There is excitement. There is this, oh, so beautiful. The word that is coming through right now is like this hope for the future. But it's just this, it's like you're being cautious, right? So you don't want to, oh yeah, so this is interesting because this portal, it's coming through with the surface of the water. It's like you don't want to mix your old beliefs, right? Or beliefs that are not exactly yours onto this water. So it's almost like I'm seeing you crossing this mirror, right? But it's like you're jumping into a pool, right? And if you don't clean yourself before, it's almost like you're going to take to this new beginning your old beliefs. So it's almost like you're being cautious enough and hopeful enough with the Page of Wands to let this feeling grew inside of you, to let it grow, but making this review first, right? It's almost like it's the comparison between the Page and the Queen. And so it's what I'm getting, it's like you know better, right, than to follow your instincts blindly, right? Or unconsequently, right? Is that the word? It's like not thinking through the consequences. And so you're thinking things through, right? You're allowing this excitement to begin to grow inside of you, but it's you're holding the reins, right? You're holding your life with your mental clarity, in a very precise kind of way, right? And so you know better that this life review, even though it could take, it feels very quick, right? But it feels like now it's quick because it has taken a long time to brew, right? And so you're taking your time also to respect this hopefulness in you. It's almost like this, It's like this delayed gratification that I'm seeing today with the Page of Wands opening this extended for you. So let's go to this life review that I'm seeing. So we have the Wheel of Fortune and 2 8s, 8 of Swords and 8 of Pentacles. And if you remember correctly from the first part, we have only these 2 suits for you, right? We started with the Swords, and then we moved to the 5 of Pentacles, and then we moved to the 7 of Swords, and then we moved to the 4 of Pentacles. So it's almost like this, it's like this mental process that was building up, like, and then you manifested a couple of changes, but still remaining where you were, and then changing a few other things mentally, internally, right, in your belief systems, seeing that it was a different perspective from others, and then finally taking the leap or making the decision to leave, right? And so this is what I'm seeing here. It's almost like this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's like, oh yeah, so this is interesting. This is the running in circles that I was seeing, right? So this is accentuated by these 2 8s, right? The 8 of Swords, you know, traditionally being this very heavy, weighing you down kind of thoughts, right? And the 8 of Pentacles also related to this extra work, extra effort that you have to put on for something to actually become reality, right? Or to manifest in some way, in a physical kind of way, not only internally. And so what I was seeing when the 8 of Swords came through after the Wheel of Fortune, it's almost like this is this life review, and this is actually interesting. The wheel, how it's coming through, it's like this quick spinning of the wheel, but in a sense it's like this moving, going through your mind of this life review so far, right? But the interesting thing, when the Wheel of Fortune showed up, it came through with the message of the wheel is now turning in your favor, which to me symbolizes that so far, because you were running in circles, right, going on this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, not seeing great results, but, you know, making a lot of effort to overcome the challenges, right, to overcome the obstacles on the way. So far the wheel was stuck, right? It wasn't moving. And that's what I'm seeing. Like, this is the freedom that now you're achieving, right? Because finally you're breaking free from that cycle that was just keeping you in this loop, right? In this actually exhausting loop. You see what I mean? But now the wheel is turning in your favor, and it's like now that it's finally moving on, you're able to see this clearly. You know what I mean? Because before, you weren't able to actually see that your effort was not taking you very far, right? It was not progressing. You see what I mean? So you were still in this very heavy environment, and not only environment, this mental state, right? And so I feel like now that things are finally moving, and you are careful enough to feel the signs, to perceive the signs of hopefulness coming to you, right? Of this promise of a new beginning, of this promise of adventure, right? You're careful enough to honor. That's beautiful, actually, Aquarius. And you know, when I said that word, it's almost like everything came to this standstill mode within me, which I feel like it's this reset for you, the reset of the wheel. You know what I mean? So it's not that this life review is something that you feel like you're obligated to do, but it's almost like this is the turning point. This is the turning point. And I just got goosebumps because this is the stillness that you were missing. You were just running and running and running in circles, you know, spending all your money or your resources or your time and effort in things that were not building anything for you, right? It was just like a, I don't want to say distraction, because I feel like it was teaching you how to come to this place. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, I feel like you wouldn't get to this point of clarity right now, that now is making this wheel turn in your favor, right? So it's not that the universe is responding, as I said, and showing you this portal. It's like you are making your way to it, right? And you are the one with this ability to turn the wheel in your favor. And it's gorgeous, because I feel like this is the turning point that you were waiting for a long time. And I mean a long time, because of these two cards. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. And so this is the difference in not only perspective, what is the best word? Approach. Your approach to your own life is not only one that is based on your clarity of mind and now knowing what are your truths or what are your own belief systems, right? That you actually believe in, right? That you actually follow through. It's just like the way that it's coming through. It's like not following, actually. It's like channeling your own truth, living your life to the most truthful way possible, right? Being yourself no matter what. And so in a way, it had to happen first in your mind. It couldn't happen physically, because as I said, the struggle that you were in was one of translating what was going on in your mind to the physical realm, right? To this three-dimensional reality. And so it's like the lesson that you had to learn, in a sense, was one of manifesting, but that feels too general. So I'll try to describe what I'm feeling for you right now. It's like this self-empowerment that you are going through that feels very, well, clear, right? With this full knowing of where you're going, even though, you know, you do hold your own desires, right? Your ideals. And the world, well, the universe is presenting you with a chance to get to them or to achieve them, right? So there is also this hopeful feeling that is starting to brew in you, but this clear knowing, the missing piece in this equation for you was the harsh reality, the dense reality, right? And I feel like it's almost like I want to say to you, Aquarius, it's like maybe you have struggled to fit into this reality for your whole life, right? And this was the missing piece. And this was, you know, this learning process that took you perhaps your entire life, right? With the Knight of Pentacles, you know, being the slowest one of the Knights. So what I'm seeing, it's like this back and forth process that you were going on. It had to come to this point of knowing first, and then this very physical manifestation, this very the way that it's coming through is like perceivable, right? To the world, to others perhaps, right? But I don't feel like others' opinions here are very relevant. It's just this it's like this settling into your body with the King of Pentacles, right? So this was the stage that you were in not long ago, and I feel like, to be quite honest, it's like you're still making this transition. I feel like this is the leap, right? In order to become your full, so fully embody your spirit is how it's coming through right now with these two, right? The Queen of Swords, it feels like you're the knowing of your spirit being finally embodied into your own body, into your own reality, into your own physical circumstances, right? With the King of Pentacles. So it's beautiful because on the other side of the King of Pentacles, it's the Sun. So this is it's still brewing, as I said, right? The new adventure, it's not exactly formed, or it hasn't taken shape yet, right? It's still in its infancy in a sense. But with the Sun, and also, you know, the Ten of Cups ending the first part, these two cards are very connected, and also because of the unexpected thing that happened that I'm going to share in just a few moments with you. But what I was seeing, particularly with the Sun after the King of Pentacles, was that the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come, Aquarius. It's like you only have had a glimpse of it, and actually you only have a glimpse so far right now, right? But I feel like the Sun is about to shine on you with such power, with such enlightenment. Like, this is coming through with this. It's like when you finally embody your whole being, right? Your spiritual being, your essence into this physical three-dimensional body, is when things light up for you in a sense. And so it's beautiful because I feel like this was the turning point that was needed for things to spin in your favor, for the wheel to turn in your favor, and to balance things out, because of the card that we have at the bottom, that is the Justice card. And it's interesting because we have, you know, underneath the Justice, the Strength card. And so this is like you finally leveling up. It's like you leveling up, but also balancing these two aspects, right? The Sword energy being the air element, and the Pentacle energy being the physical matter, right? The earth element. So these two elements, they had to be put side by side. They had to be equal. They had to be balanced out, right? Because, you know, the Strength card today, to me, as an extra message, because, okay, this is going to be such a long extended, but I just have to deliver the message. It's just coming through and I cannot hold back, right? So the Strength card for you, after you balance these two aspects, right? The spiritual side of you, and also this physical three-dimensional being that you are, right? This is your full power. This is you being in your own full power, right? And ready to be enlightened. It's how it's coming through. Yeah, you're ready to be enlightened. I hope I'm saying that correctly. You know what I mean, right? So let me share, before we pull final guidance from the astrological runes, let me share what happened when I was shuffling your cards. So when we ended with the Sun, it was like, okay, right, so we have this beautiful, bright, warm, enlightening new beginning that, you know, is about to come, is about to brew. Is this, you know, the best is yet to come, right? Your hopeful feeling is starting to grow in you, and all of the wishes that you ever had being on the other side of it, right? So it felt to me like, is this possible? is this even possible, right? Is this too good to be true? And so I started shuffling a deck that I have. Well, you know this deck, right? That I usually use here on the channel. But actually, this deck is the original one that I made back in 2018, right? For me to study tarot. But in the end of 2019, I printed out 22 copies of this deck along with a guidebook that I wrote. And so there was this one deck, right, that was still here. And also there were a couple of spare cards, right, with the same back, but it was empty. And so I created a new deck, which is actually blended here. So here you're seeing, you know, the original tarot deck blended with 44 cards of the, you know, that were spare, that were blank, that I just filled with astrological cards, right? So it was this thing that I was sensing coming through me and wanting to come through me. So it's not only that, you know, I study astrology too, and I made the runes to study them, right, in a very practical kind of hands-on way, and started using here too, but also with the cards that I had, you know, as a leftover, I just felt like, you know, they wanted to be added to this deck. So I was just to go straight to the point, to make my point, Aquarius, I promise there is a message for you in this. I just had to contextualize, right, to give you some background for you to understand where are these cards coming from. So I just felt like these cards, or these two decks, right, blended, right, so here, right, there are a mix of these two cards, right, these two decks, the tarot and this astrological oracle is how I called it. So I was just using this for myself. I just used it a couple of times, and so I don't know, for some reason I was just feeling like the Sun and the Ten of Pentacles for you, you know, ending both of the first part and your extended were not giving much, right? It felt like this too good to be true scenario that I really wanted to understand more. And so I just started shuffling, right, as I do. And I know that you don't see that here, but, you know, I was just shuffling and thinking, like, how can I possibly end this reading with a message that it's not conveying too much, right? And so when I was looking and staring at the Ten of Cups, a couple of cards, well, actually 4 cards turned. And guess which one was on top of it? The Ten of Cups. So I was looking at the Ten of Cups, and then this Ten of Cups from that combined deck turned, right? And look what's underneath. The Sun, right? I mean, come on. What are the odds for this to happen? Seriously. 10 of Cups and the Sun. 10 of Cups and the Sun. I mean, twice? This is insane, right? This is crazy. I was just in shock. I couldn't move. I was just like, what is this? What is this brightness? What is this enlightenment that is coming for Aquarius, that is like bringing all of their wishes, right, to fruition? And so the 2 cards that are following are explaining a little bit of what is this, right, being the Ace of Cups and the 2 of Cups. So I know this can be very specific, but it's how I'm seeing, and this is an extra message for you, right? If you're hopeful for finding someone who you can truly share your heart with in a romantic relationship, it's how I'm seeing they're coming, right? This is it. It's like what I'm seeing. It's like the enlightenment from the Sun. It's your heart brewing. So the excitement that you're feeling, it's like your heart pumping this flood of blood, right, from within to share with another. So this is so beautiful. and I feel like I'm just questioning myself whether or not I should pull a rune for you, because this feels like this is the message for you, right? What you can expect from what's to come, right? It's this beautiful new partnership, this beautiful sharing of your heart, right? In a very pure, but very excited way, in a sense, right? And very, very, very emotional, right? You know, I mean, 10 of Cups, Ace of Cups, 2 of Cups. It's like pure emotion coming to the forefront of your life, right? So I am going to actually skip the rune because we're already in 25 minutes. Yeah, so thank you so much. I hope this message was enlightening for you too, Aquarius. Yeah, I'm so glad I did this in this second day of January, but actually, you know, first day astrologically being the new moon today. So thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you have a beautiful 2022. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.